Hello everyone, it's DuckFairy07. Today I'm playing another amazing ELDRAZI brew, and this build is really strong. Okay, so this is the classic ELDRAZI aggro, playing all the most aggressive ELDRAZI creatures, and we got Chalice of the Void in the past it was ELDRAZI staple, and I believe it is right now. If you're not playing this card in your ELDRAZI aggro deck, please start doing so. This is amazing piece for the builds like this one, and gives you a bunch of free wins and free games in the all kind of different archetypes. Oh god, so we got for Dismember main. I think Dismember is important for a build like this, focusing solely on creatures. We've got two mana ELDRAZIs which we can play actually on turn 1 and pretty often. So because we got 4 ELDRAZI Temple, we got 4 Eugene's Labyrinth, 12 cards we can remove on Eugene's Labyrinth. Okay, so in this build I'm playing 4 All is Dust, 4 Devourers and 4 Devourer of Truth. Devourer of Truth also can be played as land and provides mana for your Wastecape Battle Mages, so you can kicker them and do the ability. A Battle Mage can either exile artifact or enchantment or bounce opponent creature. So in addition to Dismember, it acts as 8 pieces of creature interaction. In this list also there is All is Dust and Devourer of Destinies on a 7 mana slot that can kill creatures or deal with creatures a bit later in the game, but also like very important pieces that win a lot of games. All is Dust is just a very powerful card. Okay, so one basic in this list is Wastes. I think Waste is okay. It could also be probably a different basic. Also very few times I was color screwed because of not playing a full playsets of Courtyard and Unclaimed Territory. I'm considering adding one more Courtyard to the list, but otherwise that I've been very happy with this build, and it worked great across multiple leagues. Very strong results, like a huge win rate. And overall just a great feel when playing this deck. You feel just super powerful and dominative over a bunch of other competitive modern options. Okay, so we got Totnot, Reality Smasher, some old school ELDRAZIs, pretty efficient in a build like this, but this guy, Line Breaker, this guy is amazing, and the biggest payoff of going for a more aggressive build like this one. If that heralds the end, is also pretty sweet creature for a build like this, making your All is Dust, Devourers, Devourer of Truths 1 mana cheaper, which actually comes up a lot. And Wastecape Battle Mage has a big versatility, and it's also a great addition. Even in the main deck it does so much. And that's it. That is the list. In the sideboard I got 1 Gemstone Caverns, 1 in the main. They serve me pretty good so far, happy with that. Flutes, Stone Brains, Unlicensed Hearst. I play similar sideboard over a bunch of different ELDRAZI decks, and I believe this is a pretty good sideboard. The Trini Spheres are excellent against low mana value decks like Murktide, like DRC decks. Also great against a Storm, of course. And just Unlicensed Hearth is my graveyard hate of option, because I have Chalice of the Void in the main, so I don't want the 1 mana cards in the sideboard, except for the Null Elemental Blast. I play this card strictly for like dealing with Domain Zoo creatures, and but I have not used this card at all across 3 leagues. It has been the most useless card, but Domain Zoo is still not played that much, but I believe it will be played in the future. Also, it's a 1 mana card which doesn't work well with the Chalice of the Void, but having just 2 1 mana cards is probably fine, and it's for the matchup where you don't want the Chalice of the Voids that much anyway, so I think that should be fine. Okay, so Stone Brains, I'm pretty happy with that. When you play like Stone Brain turn 1 against a Nadu deck, that's pretty good. So I really like all the other slots, and the One Ring also, I believe, has been important sideboard piece for a build like this in the matchups where you don't draw your Cavern of the Souls, you're playing against control deck. They got a bunch of mass removals, your Chalice of the Voids are not doing much, so you really need the One Rings there to kind of overwhelm your opponent with threats and a card draw. So I believe it has been a good sideboard piece for now, and that's it. Also, I just kind of don't need anything else on my sideboard, so I can afford just to play 4 One Rings there. So that's it. Okay, before we go to the gameplay, I want to remind you that you can go down to thecardelc.com if you want to support my channel. Use the link down below in the video description. You can, if you purchase their product, you are supporting my channel, and they are offering pretty cool token solution for your paper collection, so make sure you check that out if you're interested and want to help support my channel. That's a great deal. Okay, so let's now check out the gameplay. Okay, so as it usually happens with a bunch of these aggressive aggro lists, some of the games can be pretty brutal and fast, and that just often happens with decks like this. Okay, so I was able to play Eugene's Labyrinth turn 1 and immediately game 1 play a Chalice of the Void. Okay, so this deck is not entirely one drops, but they do play a decent amount of one drops, so it has been good for me. Okay, so here I was able to play If That Heralds the End, and I killed Netragoyf in response. They still don't have available plays to them. Okay, so here I go for the Line Breaker. My Line Breaker is a 4/4. I also give it a haste, give it +2, so it's 6/4 with trample haste. Definitely hits hard. And yeah, next turn I can, my opponent discards the Totnut Seer, but like concedes anyway. They know they can't deal with this, so that is the game. Let's check out game 2. Okay, let's check out the sideboarding plan. I believe all these Eldrazi lists from my channel are super strong, and I believe most of them will be important players in the future MH3 metagame. The Emrakul build is just crazy strong. I see the lists have now developed to once playing it, Trinispheres and the Chalice of the Void in the main. I think that is great too, but yeah, also depends between metagame of your which metagame suits best to your list. Okay, so here I already have Chalice on 1, and I decide to also play Chalice on 2 counters, and now my opponent really can't play most of their spells. Okay, they go try to win with constructs, make some construct tokens, start attacking, but yeah, here I draw into Reality Smasher, and I also have a Dismember, so my yeah, now their construct is a 2/2, and I'm attacking with the 5/5, and next turn I also have a huge Line Breaker, so attacking for 10 next turn, that is already very close to lethal. Yeah, so this deck can really hit hard. You can see my sideboarding plan here, and you can see that basically I only like sideboarded one card, the Gemstone Caverns, nothing else I need for a matchup like this. So my opponent quickly concedes, and that is the match. Okay, let's check out match 2. Okay, so also Eldrazi Breach list that was also on my channel. I believe that one is pretty strong too, and now there is this Eldrazi aggro list, and I believe all of these definitely have its strengths. Okay, so here I play Chalice of the Void on 1. I have no idea what my opponent is playing, but Basic Island, I see Basic Island, and I first, right now, what you think of when you see the Basic Island, you mostly think of Jeskai Control. That has been like the most most common like blue deck at the moment, the Jeskai Control, playing the Ring and the Flage and the energy cards like Discard, Tune the Narrative, stuff like that. Okay, so here I was able to play the Totnot. I have a Cavern of Souls, I'm holding a Dismember, so I go for the Totnot. Totnot can be countered, I have Caverns, so my opponent just plays the Snapcaster. And I check my opponent's hand, see bunch of interactive spells, and I go like Dismember the Snapcaster so I can attack with my Herald. And okay, so my opponent has Preordain, they got Galvanic Discharge, they got Lightning Bolt, but they were stuck on 2 lands, and yeah, they could just go like for Preordain, but they decided just to concede immediately. Okay, so let's go check out game 2. Okay, so in the game 2, this one wasn't really keepable. I again board in the Gemstone Caverns, I'm playing second, so this means again I will be doing Chalice on turn 1. This time I am playing second, my opponent was already able to resolve the Tamiyo. Okay, so Chalice doesn't win this game immediately, but they still play Galvanic Discharge, they play Tune the Narrative, they play Tamiyo as you can see. So they have a lot of 1 mana spells, so Chalice should be decently relevant too. Okay, so here I go for the Herald, I use a Cavern of Souls mana to play it so it can be countered. And I still have a Dismember for the Tamiyo. Okay, so you can see my sideboarding plan here. I'm just boarding out the couple of Battle Mages, couple of Dismember. My opponent not playing much creatures, but still Dismember can be useful, like for example here. I decide when they fetch, try to play the Dismember, but they have a Force of Negation, so they still protect their Tamiyo and flip it by playing the Flame of Fener, and this time they were able to kill the Chalice. Okay, so now I play the Familiar, kill the Clue, start attacking their Tamiyo, but it is kind of a hard situation for me right now. I got to resolve my 1 ring, or I'm in a big problem. Opponent actually plays 6/6 Murktide, that is big, and I don't find a land on this crucial turn, so that was my only hope here, finding the ring and then trying to win with the 1 ring advantage. That didn't happen, so that was a game over. Let's check out the game 3. Okay, so nothing, no crazy starts here. I decide to keep anyway. I'm kind of 1 Eldrazi Temple away from having a pretty sweet hand. And yes, I can still just play, I'm playing first, so that was the reason I keep this type of hand. So I can still play turn 2 Chalice, which is good when you're on the play. And I just need like 1 Eldrazi Temple to make this card, make this hand very good. So even with any land I can still play Trinisphere next turn. Maybe Trinisphere is not that important for this matchup, but I still feel they have plenty of 1 and 2 mana spells that Trinisphere is kind of messing up their game plan. Okay, so they currently can't use the Galvanic Discharge, something like that, but so I also play the Trinisphere. Even if they kill my Chalice, they still have problems casting their 1 mana spells there. Okay, so I go for Dismember. I have to pay 3 mana to cast it. I didn't want to attack into another Snapcaster, so I just pass the turn. I'm hoping to get a land here. So yeah, Caverns of the Souls is a great piece. So I can start casting my Totnot Seers. Let's see what my opponent has. Okay, they go for Subtlety. That is actually a pretty good play for them. They're able to slow me down, start attacking with Subtlety, and this is a potentially dangerous situation, but I decide to keep Totnot on top and just replay my Totnots, try to... Okay, my opponent plays Invert Polarity, so Totnot can be countered, but if they're lucky enough, they can steal it. It doesn't happen, so they play invert polarity and just it doesn't do anything. I see their hand is Bolt, Galvanic Discharge and Preordain, which means Chalice of the Void and Trinisphere just completely blocked them. They weren't able to do much, and I was able to attack them with Totnot and just play another Totnot. See their hand is still just a bunch of 1-drops. So my opponent plays Otawara end of turn. Now they're able to play their cards, then Flame of Fener, kill the Trinisphere, and then play the Preordain, but it's still not enough. I can just Wayscape Battle Mage their Subtlety and now attack for lethal, so that is the game and the match. So let's check out match 3. Usually when you're playing this type of aggressive aggro deck, you are going to get done with your league very quickly, and yeah, that's pretty sweet. That can be pretty sweet. Just play out your league very early. Okay, so here I play my tap land. I should have actually played the Eldrazi Temple again. So this way, if I draw Cavern of Souls or some color land, I can play my Line Breaker. But yeah, okay, so never mind. My opponent, I play the Chalice, but my opponent plays Havar Might, destroys my Chalice, and yeah, they go now for M-Traptor into Ragavan, and I was able to play the Eldrazi Line Breaker here, start attacking. I didn't want to hold back, I just let them attack me with Ragavan, get my whatever spells, but here I find Reality Smasher again, and I don't wait for I don't stay back with the Smasher. I just want to continue attacking. They will maybe get something from the top of my library, but I think pressuring them with Reality Smasher damage is more important here. I'm definitely winning this race, and they will have trouble dealing with the Smasher. Okay, so they actually steal my Chalice of the Void and play it on 3. But yeah, I have Cavern of Souls, so I can play my 3-drops through the Chalice. So I just play the Line Breaker, and it doesn't get countered because yeah. Okay, so here I did the Line Breaker ability on the Smasher. So actually they were forced to trade with Netragoyf. I believe that was decent here for me. Okay, my opponent decides to block, and we trade for everything. And if that heralds the end stays on the field, so now I'm kind of holding to cast All Is Dust or Devourer next turn. My opponent attacks with Giganta, plays the Netragoyf, passes the turn, and now I'm able to cast All Is Dust for 6 mana because of my Herald's ability, and so I can kill their Giganta, kill their Netragoyf, and attack them for 2, put them down on 6. And also I'm able next turn to attack to cast my Devourer. Okay, so I go for the Line Breaker again, and I play the Battle Mage, killing their Shadow Spear, and this means I have a lethal attack here. So that is the game. Let's check out game 2. Okay, so this is the sideboarding plan, as you can see, against the giant. So I just boarded out couple of Drowner of Truths and couple of Reality Smashers, as you can see here. I only wanted the Gemstone Cavern since I'm playing second, and a few more sideboard cards. Okay, so here I go for the Battle Mage, killing the Saga. This is a great power from Battle Mage. It doesn't even kill it, it exiles it, which is even stronger. Okay, so I wanted the Trinispheres in this matchup. My opponent is playing only 1 and 2 mana spells, so Trinisphere is definitely making it harder for them. And in this game, they weren't able to play any more spells, and their Goyf wasn't big enough to block my creatures. So that was a very quick win in game 2. And yeah, that's it. Let's check out match 4. Yeah, so as it usually happens with Eldrazi, with Chalice, it can get really brutal. So here I have turn 1 Dismember, turn 2 Chalice, turn 3 Totnut Seer. These type of hands are just incredibly powerful, and here we are playing against one of the most popular decks right now. It is Jeskai Energy Control. Okay, so here I play my first Totnut, turn 3, I'm on the play, it's uncounterable, opponent can't do much about that, and I see their hand, I take the Teferi, they have Wrath of the Skies, they have Invert Polarity, they have Lorien Revealed and some lands. Okay, so they play a land, and now there is, I mean, they can play Invert Polarity, they can't counter the Totnut. So there is a 50-50 chance that this spell does nothing, but also there is a chance that they steal my Totnut. Okay, so here it did nothing, and I was able to discard another spell of theirs. So they were prismatic ending my Chalice, but then I played the Herald, pump my Totnut Seers, and my opponent decides to concede. So that is the game. Very quick game 1, brutal with Chalice, with double Totnuts here. Yeah, it's very hard for them to deal with this. So I start off with Gemstone Caverns, and I also have the Eldrazi Temple, but I decided to go with Cavern of Souls if they have maybe something crazy like Spell Snare. But yeah, okay, so now my Eldrazi are uncounterable. I have 4 mana here on turn 4. I can play the Battle Mage as attacker here, but I just decide to wait with it. If they play something more relevant, I can kill a ring with it, for example. Okay, so here it is. I find another Eldrazi Temple and play Reality Smasher. This also means next turn, on turn 4, I can already just cast the Devourer of Destiny. That is yeah, pretty good. Okay, so attacking with Reality Smasher. If my opponent wants to kill the Smasher, they have to use 2 cards. And yeah, at this point, I also playing the Line Breaker here. My opponent uses a Discharge to kill the Smasher. So, but they don't have a remover for the Line Breaker, so I'm still attacking for 4. Okay, I'm waiting to see what will my opponent do. I didn't want to overcommit, so they destroy everything with mass removal. So I play creatures 1 by 1 here. My opponent just plays a Flage, and yeah, so this was a bit risky. I didn't want to play Battle Mage just for them to be able to Flage my Battle Mage and gain more life. So I tried to play Chalice of the Void on 3 this turn, but yeah, it didn't happen. My opponent was, now I have 3 Battle Mages, so obviously I can't wait any longer. And yeah, I decided to play one play two, sorry, that are potentially lethal next turn and keep the third one in hand. Okay, opponent prismatic. I should have probably played just all three, but yeah. Okay, so here I go for the One Ring. Opponent unfortunately has another counter spell, but yeah, fortunately they don't have another source to play their Flage. So this time Island loses them the game. And yeah, that was another quick match against Energy, Sky Energy. Pretty popular deck at the moment in the leagues. Okay, so probably like the most popular control variant I saw. Okay, so this is the last match of this league. The only one I lost, and yeah, the only time I kept a 5-lander. This is definitely first time I did it, and yeah, I keep it on the draw against Grief Scam. Unfortunately, Grief took both of my cards, and I was left with just a bunch of unplayables here. Okay, so I have Eugene's Labyrinth and Devourer of Destiny, so potentially I have some good draws. I can play Ring early, sorry, Tot Not early, if I draw it or something like that. Okay, so unfortunately another land from the top here is pretty bad news. My opponent also plays follows up with the turn 2 Bowmasters after Scam, and now I have a Chalice of the Void, but yeah, it's too late right now. And my opponent also has like a perfect hand, Necro Dominance, immediately like Soul Spike me for additional 4 damage. So I actually had a way out here, so the one haster 5/5 haster here wins me the game. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, but it didn't happen. So let's check out game 2. Okay, so in the game 2, here is my sideboarding plan. I believe I don't need Chalice of the Void in this matchup, so I just removed all of those. And I think the One Ring could potentially be good, enable me to win game, even those games that they play Necro Dominance. Okay, so here I just continue attacking with Herald, and yeah, actually my Heralds are doing lethal next turn. But my opponent was able to play the Sheldred. I find Dismember from the top to just kill the Sheldred and finish things off. Turn 5, just Stompy with 2 Heralds doing the job in 3 turns. So that was it. Okay, so pretty quick in game 2, and let's now check the last game of this match for the trophy. Okay, so I had to mulligan that first one, and I revealed the Devourer. This hand is pretty much insane. I have a turn 2, yeah, this is where I lost the match. I played the Battle Mage on turn 1, and it was actually so crucial. Okay, so my game plan here, they didn't play Grief on turn 1, so they probably don't have it, and I won't use the Battle Mage to kill the Necro Dominance, because I will just Tot Not the Necro Dominance from their hand. But unfortunately they were able to Grief my Tot Not and then play the Necro Dominance. So yeah, that was pretty good. And yeah, of course I had a Reality Smasher next turn, so there was a chance that I could potentially do some damage. My opponent wasn't too greedy, so I played the Smasher here, and I have the One Ring for the next turn, which is still pretty good, but it would be just way much better if I just played the Battle Mage here and killed the Necro Dominance. That would be brutal. And if I did that, I would also have a spare mana here to play this Dismember right now, which would also be like pretty good. So yeah, now all went south for me, so they were able to kill my Smasher, soul spike me, gain more life, and yeah, now I was forced to like tap out again to play the One Ring, although I did expect them to have another Sheldred, but I just had to play the One Ring this turn. Okay, One Ring giving me some shot at coming back in this game, but yeah, my opponent finds another Sheldred and they like draw 16 cards. 16 cards is a bit insane, but okay, they did it. And now they also gain a bunch of life, so all the pressure I did in the beginning of course means nothing right now. Okay, so they go up to 33, soul spike my creature and then go to 35. And yeah, I'm unfortunately missing 1 mana here to play All Is Dust, but I can do it next turn. And yeah, my opponent plays another soul spike, so I go down to 3 and I can't use the One Ring at this moment. My opponent plays Sorin, grieves me, and yeah, they did extort. They only need 1 damage at this point to kill me, so they extort damage there, and that was the game. And the match, very close one. If I played it just slightly bit different, I think it would just go, the game would go in a completely different direction, and this would be like easy trophy. I would just get rid of their Necron dominance with One Ring in my hand, and I think they would not be able to stop it. So, but yeah, it is what it is. And but this deck overall feels super powerful when you're playing it. It feels just so dominant against bunch of really popular decks right now, from turn 1 Chalice to turn 2 Totnots, turn 2 Line Breakers. All these cards are really strong, and Herald is also one strong piece. Battle Mage, great main board option for bouncing a creature, exiling artifacts, enchantments. Just a great versatile Eldrazi. It is actually pretty funny to have a creature like that in a deck like this. This deck has it all. It can, in the main board, can kill creatures, can play turn 1 Chalice, it has All Is Dust, it has like really aggressive cheap creatures. I think it is perfect and a very strong option. I think probably tier 1 option for a future modern meta game. Okay, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to click like, click subscribe, comment down in the video, and as I said before, if you want to support my channel, use the link down below to make a purchase from thecardalk.com. Okay, so thanks again for watching. That's all for today, and goodbye.